Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week, for the week of May 30th to June 5th, though. And well, it seems as though, despite the rumors that came out, it looks like Nintendo did not announce the so-called Switch Pro or Super Nintendo Switch or whatever the case may be, though. Could they announce it next week? Could it be announced in the fall? That's a possibility, or it may not exist at all. So there's always that kind of speculation. So unfortunately, it doesn't sound like we heard anything about the next iteration, if I'm saying the Switch, at least as far as I'm aware of, or at least during the recording of this video. Also, it is worth pointing out that I might not do a My 2 Cent or video game review next week, though. Spend some time with family and all that stuff, you know, and that kind of stuff. So I probably won't be. There's a good chance I probably won't be doing a My 2 Cent or a video game review for next week or anything like that. Anyway, we got 4 stories to cover in here, including the NPDs that have just been released, though, which are pretty interesting indeed. We also got a report about Cyberpunk 2077 and the fact that, well, it doesn't seem like they may have made as much money as a lot of people had thought they would, despite the controversies or anything like that. We also have a report that God of War Ragnarok, or it's going to be a different name, will not only be coming to the PS5, but also the PS4 as well, and not everyone seems to be happy with that announcement. Plus, I want to give my thoughts on the Scarlet Nexus demo that was released. So, it was released first. It was exclusive for Microsoft, but then it's sort of appear up on other systems as well. Haven't heard anything about a PC version of a demo or anything like that. And if it's true that there isn't a PC version, I'm still a little confused by that. Don't you think you want to have PC gamers who are looking forward to buying this game through Steam and all? Don't you think they want to try it out as well? But before we get started, we'll do what I like to call the quick My 2 Cents. Stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of details. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, though, all the stories I talk about, I'll have a link down in the description down below, so you could click on where I got a lot of this information. We'll start off with the first one, is that there is a report coming out that it's been confirmed that Crysis Remastered Trilogy is going to be available on multiple platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. Not only will it have the first Crysis, but Crysis 2 and Crysis 3, which supposedly you could buy the games individually if you want to, though. This is great and all that stuff, but hopefully this time around it goes much smoother than like it was last year. The Switch version had some issues, although they supposedly patched it up. And when the first trailer for the Crysis Remastered was revealed, it didn't sit very well with everyone, to the point that Crytek had to delay the game for the other versions, but release the Switch version on time and all. We also learned that apparently during a data mine that shows that Nier Replicant, there were plans to bring it to the Nintendo Switch. Now, it's unclear if those plans are still ongoing. It's unclear if they've been canceled, or if we might hear it at Nintendo's presentation at E3. So it's too early to say whether this is true or not, though. Personally, I wouldn't mind if the game comes to the Nintendo Switch. Same with Nier Automata, if they could get it to run on the Switch properly, though. But time will tell if that's true or not. We also learned that supposedly there has been a debunk to a rumor claiming that there was a change of culture at Bethesda, and that some people were leaving after Microsoft purchased Bethesda for I think a bit over $7 billion, which is literally insane to be exact. But supposedly the report coming out is that the claim is false, and that someone who leaked the information may have misheard some information on that stuff. So if what they're saying is correct, it seems that the story isn't true at all. So anytime there's rumors, though, you take it with a bit of a grain of salt, to be exact. We also learned that Nintendo has set their date for when they'll do their E3 digital presentation. The date is set for June 15th, though. I'm going to keep my expectations in check, though, because if there's one thing I learned about Nintendo's E3 presentation or digital presentation or their directs, is that sometimes it could be good, sometimes it could be bad. Some of it is how high you set your expectations, though. So for me, I'm keeping my expectations in mind and keeping them sort of in check, though. But June 15th, so let's we'll see how well this one does for Nintendo. We also learned that the original Super Mario Brothers movie, that's right, the live action one released back in the 90s though, will be getting an extended cut fan release though. That movie has earned the reputation of being it's so bad it's good or something like that. I mean, yeah, I could see where the whole idea of it being so bad it's good. I mean, I guess there's still an audience for it though. It's not something that's like doesn't interest me or anything like that, but I'm sure there's an audience out there though. It will be also, and hey, who knows, maybe they could build up hype for the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie being done by Illuminations, the production, the same studio that did, the Despicable Me series though. So we'll see how that one is. We also learned that Devolver Digital will be having their digital broadcast on June 12th, though. That certainly would be interesting to see, given Devolver Digital's history of doing what often is referred to as their anti-E3 showing, though. For me, the big one game for them is it's Shadow Warriors 3. I'm looking forward to seeing more information on that one as well. So if you're looking forward for Devolver Digital, set the date for June 12th. We also learned that Yuji Naka, as reported, supposedly has parted ways with Square Enix following Balan Wonderworld. Assuming this report is true, though, it's not really surprising at all given the reception Balan Wonderworld has gotten, especially when the demo came out that really damaged that game big time, though. It's really unfortunate, though, because, I mean, there was a charm to the game, though, and I think it could have been good, but obviously putting all the actions to one button, to the level design, certainly turned a lot of people off, though. We'll see if Yuji Naka can make a comeback in any way or anything like that, but as of right now, though, it looks like, if this report's true, he has parted with Square Enix, though. It is unfortunately sad, but I'm not shocked about this announcement, though. We also learned that supposedly 2K, and this is certainly a rumor right now, is set to announce an Avenger games done by the same developers who worked on the XCOM series, though. Now, assuming this is true, though, it would be very interesting to see if they could pull this off, though. Could it work? It's a possibility. I mean, after all, Ubisoft did Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and that was basically done in a XCOM style, though, and as weird as that may be, it actually worked or anything. Actually worked. So there is a possibility this could work, though, excuse me, that this could technically work, but we'll find out at E3. Same with the whole rumors about Eidos Montreal working on a Guardians of the Galaxy game. I mean, could it work? Yes, but look at the Avengers. Look at the reputation that has earned and how Eidos Montreal has handled that. So I would say between the two, as much as I would like the Guardian Galaxy game to work, assuming the rumors are true, I would say the Avengers game with XCOM style, I'm more interested in that one, though. And last but not least, we've learned that basically a sequel to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is in development, which is certainly good, though. I thought the first game was good, though. There were some technical issues, especially with the Nintendo Switch version, and I think what surprised 505 and Artplay was the fact that the Switch version sold more than the other version, and they was like, I believe they said this, like, oh shit, we dropped the ball on that one. I think I've said this before, and decided to patch the Switch version, though. If that's the case, and a sequel is in development, though, I'm hoping it does come to the Nintendo Switch, and I am hoping that lessons were clearly learned in terms of the Switch version of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and they do a better job, optimizing the game for the Nintendo Switch, because I think a game like that is definitely a perfect fit for something like the Nintendo Switch, though. It's just really a shame that they dropped the ball on that one, and it took basically the game selling well on the Switch to convince them, like, yeah, we need to address this problem. So hopefully lessons were learned on that, though. Okay, with the quick My 2 cent part now done, we will get started with our first story, and this one has to do with the NPD. So we basically saw the release, NPD just released their numbers in terms of April, of how video games sold and all that stuff, and apparently there's some interesting ones in this list, though, including Returnal, which, despite some controversy in terms of some technical issues and all that stuff, it seems that game pretty much did very well and all. From an article posted on on Ventured Beats, it showed basically that Returnal, MLB, and Pokemon maintain the momentum for game sales, though. So in terms of the NPDs, the top 20 best-selling games in the month of in the U.S. for basically April, it reads MLB The Show at number 1, though, which is, well, that's interesting. Maybe some of it is the fact that it came onto the Xbox systems as well. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 2. New Pokemon Snap at number 3. Outriders at number 4. Nier Replicant at number 5. Mortal Kombat 11 at number 6. It went last month it was at number 14. That's interesting though. Monster Hunter Rise at number 7. Returnal at number 8. It Takes Two at number 9. Mario Kart 8 at number 10. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 at number 11. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 12. Super Mario 3D World at number 13. Minecraft at number 14. Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 15. Super Mario 3D All-Stars at number 16. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 17. Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 18. Pokemon Sword and Shield at number 19, basically both of them combined. And The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 20. So basically, though, seems that I'm happy to see Neo Replicant make it onto this list. I'm glad that game made it on there. Monster Hunter Rise is still going strong. That certainly is good. Seeing Returnal there is sort of interesting in a way, though, given the whole controversies, including some of the technical issues and all that stuff. But it seems to have done very well. And MLB The Show 21. That's interesting to see a game that was published by Sony make its way onto the Xbox systems, but apparently it did very well, though. Now, over to basically the best-selling games so far this year, though. We have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, Super Mario 3D World at number 2, MLB The Show 21 at number 3, Monster Hunter Rise at number 4, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 5, Outriders at number 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 7, Mario Kart 8 at number 8, Minecraft at number 9, and Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 10. In terms of the best-selling games for the last 12 months, we have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, Madden NFL 21 at number 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 at number 4, The Last of Us Part 2 at number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizon at number 6, Ghost of Tsushima at number 7, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 8, Super Mario 3D All-Stars at number 9, and NBA 2K21 at number 10. Over on the top 10 best-selling games, top 10 best-selling games on the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo games in the US, excuse me, New Pokemon Snap is at number 1, Monster Hunter Rise is at number 2, Mario Kart 8 is at number 3, excuse me. Okay. Super Mario 3D World is at number 4, Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 5, Super Mario 3D All-Stars at number 6, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 7, Pokemon Sword and Shield at number 8, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 9, and Super Mario Party at number 10. Over on the PlayStation side, though, MLB The Show at 21 is at number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 2, Returnal at number 3, Outriders at number 4, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales at number 5, Nier Replicant at number 6, Mortal Kombat 11 at number 7, It Takes Two at number 8, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 at number 9, and Ghost of Tsushima at number 10. Over on Microsoft's side, though, we have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War at number 1, MLB The Show at number 2, It Takes Two at number 3, Mortal Kombat 11 at number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare at number 5, Outriders at number 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla at number 7, Nier Replicant at number 8, Forza Horizon 4 at number 9, and Mortal Kombat 11 PE plus Injustice LE Premier Fighter Bundle at number 10, which was ironically last month it was ranked at 41. So I will say the takeaway from this is that Mortal Kombat 11 has gone up though, which is sort of interesting to see that. It Takes Two has done very well. Monster Hunter Rise has done very well. So far, though, Nier Replicant, it's nice to see it make it onto the list. I'm glad that game is getting the attention it needs. Hopefully, this opens the door to the possibility of maybe a third Nier game or anything or something like that. And basically, MLB The Show 21 being on both systems, apparently both the PlayStation and the Xbox system, apparently that is doing very well and all that stuff. Now, does that automatically mean that Sony's going to bring some of their other IPs to Microsoft? Doubt it, though. I don't see that technically happening or anything like that. It may just be just this game alone and not any other game. So I don't see anything. I don't see that kind of situation happening. But overall, obviously, MLB The Show 21 certainly is a winner for Sony. They certainly are happy with it. Same with Capcom with Monster Hunter Rise. And I'm sure Square Enix is happy with the way Nier Replicant did, though. Not to mention WB Games' Mortal Kombat 11. And, of course, and Returnal, though. Which, like I said, despite some of the issues that game has faced so far, it seems to have done very well for in the charts and all that stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see what May's NPD 2021 charts turn out to be. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2. And this one has to do with a story that has emerged in regards of Cyberpunk 2077, in which the game may have not done as well as people have thought that it would have done, despite the controversy, though. The claim is that despite the controversy, the game actually sold very well. That may not be the case. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our My 2 Cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at new information that has come out in regards of Cyberpunk 2077. Now, that game kind of became a laughingstock last year, though. What was supposed to be a very highly anticipated title from CD Projekt Red that handled The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and earned a lot of good reputation from a lot of gamers and all, it really took a nosedive when the game came out. It was, especially on the PS4 and the Xbox One, the base PS4 and Xbox One, where it was like borderline unplayable. The game definitely damaged CD Projekt Red's reputation. In fact, it was so bad that even Sony had to pull the game off their PlayStation Store and offer refunds to basically a lot of folks. Though it was really a shame, though, because it could have been a good game for a lot of folks. Now, I played it on both Stadia, and I also have been trying it out on Xbox Series S. And my experience with the game so far has been it runs fine, though. I mean, Stadia offers the option of a higher resolution or a higher frame rate, while the Xbox Series S version, I would say, it's basically the best way I could sum up the Xbox Series S version is that this is basically what we should have gotten on the base PS4 and the Xbox One and all. That's pretty much what the Xbox Series S version is. Not a bad thing, though, but it may not be everyone's cup of tea or anything like that. And, well, CD Projekt Red has been trying to work very hard to sort of rebuild their reputation, releasing hotfixes and updates to it, promising DLCs, which we have yet to see, including free DLCs, and supposedly plans for a PS5 and an Xbox Series X and S version, though. And one of the interesting stories that came out about this game was that despite basically the controversy, supposedly the game did very well in terms of sales, or at least we thought it did. At least we thought we did, though. And apparently it seems as though CD Projekt Red may have lost some money on Cyberpunk 2077 and that bad of a situation that the game has caused, though. In an article from Screen Rant, though, it reads that, quote, information shared in CD Projekt Red's quarterly results suggests that Cyberpunk's 2077 first quarter 2021 sales may have been lower than expected. Details featured within CD Projekt Red's quarterly earnings reports indicate Cyberpunk 2077 sales from first quarter 2021 may have been much lower than anticipated. The publisher shared its quarterly results during a call with investors on May 31st. A fair few piece of notable information originated from said talks. For example, the company disclosed a 64% loss in net profit for the quarter, citing the sci-fi's RPG's launch troubles as the chief cause. CD Projekt Red investors meeting for first quarter 2021 additionally features cursory details about the process taken to assure Cyberpunk 2077 returns to the PlayStation Store. While company leadership couldn't offer much in the way of contact details, SVP Business Development divulged the studio in the midst of the process necessary to restore the game's digital distribution on the PlayStation platform. CD Projekt Red refused to offer insights related to the topic of sales data, though despite its eagerness to flaunt the numbers in the day following Cyberpunk 2077's trouble release. During the affordable earnings call, a CD Projekt investor inquired about Cyberpunk 2077 unit sales for the first quarter of 2021. The president and joint CEO didn't provide a direct answer to the questions. The executives instead told investors, "We usually communicate unit sales when we reach a certain milestone, round numbers that we can announce, though." This person also went on to note that the sales update for first quarter 2021 centered on Cyberpunk's ability to draw in 60% of CD Projekt Red sales revenues. The vast majority of those sales, he continues, stem from PC digital distribution channel. This catchy response seems to indicate that the publisher isn't confident in sharing updated data, perhaps because Cyberpunk 2077 quarterly sales were worse than expected. Interestingly, Cyberpunk 2077 sales on consoles took a sharp dive week after launch. For the month of January, it placed on the NPD charts, which track US sales, has tumbled to number 18. It didn't appear on the top 20 best-selling list for February, March, or April either. Meanwhile, a title like Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, a PlayStation exclusive released 1 month ahead of Cyberpunk, continues to chart month after month. It will be intriguing to see if CD Projekt is able to turn the ship around by year's end, given that there's still a chance for Cyberpunk's 2077 redemption. The game's restore on the PlayStation Network could constitute one turning point, for example, and the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X upgrade could mark yet another, though. So, obviously, it sounds like because of the whole issue of trying to fix this game, though, they certainly lost money in the process, which isn't really surprising, though. It's really a shame what happened to this game. It really does, because it's not a bad game. It's just that CD Projekt Red seriously mishandled this on a lot of fronts, though. Now, could this game redeem itself? Yes, we've seen this before. Like I said this before many times. We saw this with Final Fantasy XIV and No Man's Sky. Those games were able to redeem themselves after a terrible launch, though. But at the same time, let's not forget earlier this year with a game like Anthem, which never was able to redeem themselves, and when they tried to reboot it, BioWare tried to reboot it, though, EA just said, no, we're not even going to bother with it, though, and just left the game how it is right now. So what should have been this so-called 10-year journey that they made, though, claimed that it was going to happen, obviously ended very, very early, though. And it does seem to be wondering if they'll be able to basically able to fix this game, especially on the PS4 and Xbox One. I'm wondering if they'll be able to fix it, or if they're just going to abandon it or something like that. I mean, pressure is going to be hard on them, especially if they're trying to push out a PS5 or Xbox Series S and X version. I mean, they're going to have to really show that they have learned their lessons on this, and this could have an impact on, say, The Witcher 4 in a way. So, we'll see, though. Hopefully they can fix this game, but like I said this before, and I'll say it again, CD Projekt Red really damaged their reputation with Cyberpunk 2077. They're going to have to work really hard to sort of earn that reputation back, and it's not going to be easy for them, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 3. And this one has to do with God of War Ragnarok, and to some extent, Gran Turismo 7, in which now we're learning not only has the game been delayed, but it's going to come to the PS4 as well. And apparently not everyone is happy about that. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the situation surrounding the next God of War game, God of War Ragnarok, although there's been reports that name might change and all that stuff. So, as some of you are probably aware of, the game has sort of been delayed and all, and while that is a somewhat disappointment though, I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it being delayed or anything like that. If it gives the developers extra time to iron out some of the areas that probably should be ironed out, I think that's great and all. But the issue that has sort of caught people's attention has been the fact that we now learn that not only will this game come to the PS5, but it's also going to come to the PS4 as well, and that isn't exactly sitting with everyone out there or anything like that. In some of the articles, though, the first one from Eurogamer, it reads that, quote, God of War Ragnarok, when originally announced for the PS5 released in 2021, has been delayed into next year and will now launch on PS4. Confirming the news on Twitter, developer Sony Santa Monica Studio explains it has made the decision to push God of War Ragnarok, released back in 2022, in order to maintain the safe and well-being of its team, obviously referring to the coronavirus, and I don't disagree with that. I think it's important to ensure the health and safety of this staff and all that stuff, even though the situation with the coronavirus, based on what I've been hearing, is somewhat better, though it's still lingering out there, and I think it's important to try to be as safe as possible when dealing with it. Anyway, moving on. Since the release of the next God of War on teaser last year, the full statement reads, we've been humble at the amount of love our community has shown us. We're incredibly grateful to see so many people excited to experience the next chapter of Kratos and Atreus' journey. We remain focused on delivering a top quality game while maintaining the safety and well-being of our teams, creative partners, and families the developers continue. With this in mind, we've made the decision to shift our release window to 2022. In addition to God of War Ragnarok revised release date, Sony has confirmed the game will be a cross-gen title, as will the eagerly awaited PS5 racing sim Gran Turismo 7, and will be making its way to the PS4 alongside the previously announced PS5. The head of PlayStation Studios shared the news as part of an interview on the PlayStation blog. While it makes sense to develop a title for both PS4 and PS5 for Horizon Forbidden West, the next God of War GT7, we continue to look at that, he explains. And if PS owners want to play that game, they can. If they want to go on and play the PS5 version, the game will be there for them. God of War Ragnarok is the second of Sony's big first-party 2021 titles released to be pushed back into next year. A delay for GTA 7, blamed on the coronavirus-related production challenge, was announced in February. According to Hudson, Hulst, apologize for not saying the name correctly, it's currently unclear if Horizon Forbidden West will meet the similar fate. For Horizon, he said, we think we are on track to release this holiday season, but that isn't quite certain yet, and we'll be working as hard as we can to confirm to you as soon as we can. Now, the fact that I'm not losing sleep over the fact that it's coming to the PS5 and PS4, but not everyone seems to be happy with this. Some of the comments I have seen so far have been like, some of the people think, some of the comments, like one example reads, quote, Sony went out of their ways to say this in response to Microsoft announcing cross-gen compatibility for all first-party games, at least for the first few years. What is exactly what Sony is doing? And it was unnecessary because clearly it was never in question that these games were next-gen exclusive. It was a child's lie. On that note, whether I had a PS5 or not, I still want these new games to be exclusive. I do believe in generations, and no matter how miraculous your scaling the game is going to be held back. Like, how do you handle the obligatorily climbing? I apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly. Climbing a ladder or pushing a rock out of the way loads hides when PS5s clearly won't need it. There's also the inherent danger of getting into a Cyberpunk debacle, though. Watching the New Horizon gameplay, and it was raised by the DF guys. I can't see the original PS4 running that completely. We'll see. And other people have responded as well. Some people have basically don't think it's a big deal, but others are chiming in saying God of War's cross-gen, totally absurd and disappointing, though. Others have said, I hope God of War and Horizon are the last first-party games to be released on PS4. This needs to end. Others think this is a smart strategy. Others are upset, but it doesn't matter. Some people believe that Sony mislead their customers. One person wrote, really disappointed in the news for everyone who bought a PS5 and believed in generations. This is a really bad look for PlayStation. It totally misleads its fan base with its release plans for these games. SIE should have been upfront from the start. And if you go over to Push Square, they did a poll on this under a talking point, which is, did Sony lie about the PS5? And as the poll stands right now, 27% believe that Sony completely lied to them. 34% believe Sony didn't lie but did mislead. 35% says no, this is typically generation transition, and 4% says they're not really sure. So, did Sony really lie? I'm more in the camp of I don't think they did in a way, though. I think COVID really may have thrown a certain loop at a lot of things, and because of the fact that it's hard to find a PS5, yes, the PS5 is selling very well, don't get me wrong, it's certainly Sony has pointed that out, but finding one is a completely different story due to the chip shortage and basically, the whole box issue, though. So it does seem like they think that it's probably best to maybe release it on the PS4, considering that there are plenty of PS4s out there and all that stuff. So to do it, take that approach. And it will be interesting to see if they do this with other games down the road, though. That said, I can see the argument for the whole Cyberpunk 2077 situation, though. We saw how that game was launched on the original PS4 and Xbox One, and how piss poorly that game ran. And I can see why a lot of people are kind of upset about this, though. So I would say I understand Sony's decision to release it on, make it a cross-gen, given the situation regarding the PS5 and having, basically because, the PS5 is hard to find. A majority of people have a PS4, though, but I can also see the Cyberpunk situation, though, and I can understand the concern right there. So overall, I could say to some degree I'm in the camp of I don't think they lied. I think they may have misled in some ways, though, but I also think some factors like COVID may have played a part in it, in realizing that has an impact on the PS5s being out there for customers to pick up, and given the fact that a lot of people have PS4s at this moment, they might as well just do it that way. Whether that changes over time or not remains to be seen. It will be interesting, I guess, maybe once there's more PS5s out there for people to pick up, maybe they'll finally push it to make these games PS5 exclusives only and all that. But for the time being, at this moment, given where things are standing, it looks like God of War, along with Gran Turismo and Horizon Forbidden West, are also not only going to be on the PS5, but they're also going to be on the PS4 as well. And whether or not, it's certainly open for debate whether or not you think this is the right thing to do or not. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part. And this one is, I want to give my thoughts on the Scarlet Nexus Demo, the upcoming game from Bandai Namco. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one I want to give my thoughts on basically the demo that just came out for Scarlet Nexus. Now this is the new upcoming game from Bandai Namco, and I've been trying it out on my Xbox Series S though, and I will say, while I don't feel the game's going to break any new grounds or anything like that, I will say it is an enjoyable title nevertheless though. The thing about that is that it's an action RPG and all that, and it follows the visuals and style of the game looks somewhat similar to what Code Vein was though, although that was more like a Souls-like approach. This one, not so much, as this one's a little bit fast-paced though. It does run at 60 frames per second based on my time on the Xbox Series S though. Story, however, feels something like it's kind of ripped out of like what Astro Chain was on the Nintendo Switch though, and I certainly don't see that as a bad thing and anything like that. Like I said about the Code Vein part, level designs are kind of similar to it in a certain degree though. What's interesting is that the game, basically you have like two or three other partners with you though as your main character. You play either both a male or female character. Unfortunately, I don't know the names or anything of their names or anything like that. I apologize for that though, and each has their own different story. But what's interesting is that with these other characters you have with you, you could basically supposedly borrow their powers and all, and that can come in handy when fighting like certain enemies. Like one character may have like a fire ability, the other one may have like a ability to make your character a bit stronger, have armor. One may have the abilities for you to see basically enemies that might be invisible, and one may give you the ability to pass through like walls or anything like that. Similar with the female character, where we have the ability to give your character electric powers to basically stay invisible, so you can basically sneak up on enemies, to basically increasing your speed against enemies that might be quick or fast or anything like that. So you use these abilities to fight certain enemies and so forth though. Now eventually you can turn off those powers when you're done fighting the enemies and all that stuff, and it sort of recharges over time though, although you can still use it even if it's not recharging though. So it's a really neat idea. But the other thing that they add is that basically you have like these ability, like I think it's telekinesis ability, to basically lift items around and use them to bash or hit the enemies and so forth though. You have one, based on my timer state, there are two different types. There's the one where you hold the R trigger button down, bear in mind referring to on the Xbox controller, and one with the L trigger though. The R trigger though, you can pick up any like items you find, as long as the logo's up there, and like the RT logo, and you will automatically throw to the nearest enemy or the enemy you have locked on. When you're holding up the LT trigger, however, some of these items basically has the ability where you could do like multiple damage. Like they'll tell you to swing the right stick this way or the left stick that way though. Sometimes you may have to do it more than once though, and you could do damage to the enemy. The interesting thing is that the enemies have both looks like a health bar and stamina bar. If you knock the stamina bar down, you can hold the LT button, and you can watch this animation of like an instant kill or anything like that. So it's a really neat approach though. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, I think, the 2004 game PSYOP, the Mindgate Conspiracy, if I'm saying the name correctly though. I remember it sort of like tried to take an approach like that in a way, but of course that was back in 2004 and all that stuff. So so the combat wise is very neat and everything like that. I am a little curious to see exactly if you could bring other party members with you. Based on the demo though, you were assigned to these party members though, you know, the ones that grant you abilities though. I'm wondering if you can switch them out like before any missions or during the missions though. So it's sort of going to be very interesting though. As far as the level designs though, they're neat and everything like that, but they also kind of give off a little bit of a Inception vibe to it in a way. So it's sort of unique in a certain way though. But I would say my time with the game though was good though. The demo was definitely impressive though. You do have 2 other characters, and one have their own separate storyline, although supposedly there are claims that they can meet each other, though, so we'll see how that is in the full game and everything like that. But I will say my overall experience with Scarlet Nexus is certainly positive, though. The demo's out right now. I believe you could download it if you have either the PlayStation system or the Xbox system or anything, if you have any of those. No word about a PC version, at least as far as I'm aware of, though, which, like I said, I think it's kind of odd they don't have a demo for the PC version, though. And of course, if you're interested in any gameplay of me playing the game, though, again, link will be in the description, or you can click on the card that will appear up on this video, though. So to me, it was a fun demo, though, and it's definitely looking forward to trying this game out. One last thing to point out, though, is that if you beat the demo, though, supposedly you might want to hang on to it, because you will get an item that you will get like a free item if you get the full version, get the final, the retail version. You could take stuff, I believe you'll unlock an item for that, though. So I'm not sure if it has anything to do with, anything you do in the demo you could bring over to the main version or anything like that. I haven't seen or read anything like that, so. But still, either way, though, the demo is available. I enjoyed it, though. I'm looking forward to when the game comes out. Hopefully, you guys tried the demo and you enjoyed it as much as I did, though. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week, though. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about with the April 2021 results from the NPD, though? Are you surprised to see Nier Replica do very well, though? Are you surprised to see Returnal is doing very well, or Monster Hunter Rise is continue to do very well indeed, though? What are your thoughts about Cyberpunk 2077? The fact that it seems though CD Projekt Red may have lost money because of basically trying to fix the game, though. Are you surprised by this? Are you not surprised by this at all? Do you think this could have an impact when they do decide to bring the game over to the PS5 and Xbox Series S in any way? Is it possible the game could recover via like what we saw with Final Fantasy XIV and No Man's Sky, or do you think that there's no way this game is going to be able to bounce back like what we saw with Anthem, though? What are your thoughts about God of War Ragnarok and even GTA 7 and Horizon Forbidden West now not only being delayed? Not Horizon Forbidden West, but not only being delayed, but now also coming to the PS4 as well. Do you think this is the right thing for Sony to do? Do you think it's the wrong thing for Sony to do? Do you think Sony may have misled folks on this in any way, or do you don't think they misled anybody at all? And what about the Scarlet Nexus, though? Have you tried the demo out yet? Have you tried the game out? Do you think the game is good in any way? Are you looking forward to when the game comes out? Or is this one sort of a pass for you? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!